ESPN NBA analyst Chris Broussard joins me. Give us take on that and others. By the way, Sixers in action tonight, trying to avoid their own history. We'll get into that as well with Chris. He joins me now. How are you, Chris?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. And I know everybody's looking from afar, but you have a little closer look at this Cavs situation here. Is it just them playing out the string, wanting to get to the playoffs, or is there something more to read into it?
Well, I think there's a little bit of both. This is a team that knows it's all about June. You know, if they don't not only get to the finals but win it, it's viewed as a failure. And so they have had trouble finding joy within the regular season. They just want to get it over with. They want to get these games over with. They want to get to the playoffs. So what their hope is that when they get to the playoffs, number one, they'll start to enjoy themselves and, you know, because they see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as being able to compete for that championship. And number two, that they begin to play a lot better because of that joy, because, you know, there's a sense of urgency there that's just not there in the regular season for them. Now, every team, I mean, the Warriors know it's about June for them as well. And they've been able to sustain it and play, obviously, tremendously throughout the regular season. And I think that's because they have a different group of players. I mean, they got a group that is having fun, that is, you know, everybody's involved. And even as great as Steph is, and he's clearly the best player on the team, it's not just all about him. One of the problems in Cleveland that players have is to deal with everything's about LeBron. Off the court, on the court, everywhere. And it's not that he's a selfish person. It's just that he's so big, he's so larger than life, that wherever he goes, it becomes about LeBron. And other players, that can rub them, you know, they can get frustrated with it. I don't want to say rub them the wrong way, because it's not like he's beefing with any of his teammates. But it can just, a guy like Kyrie likes being the man. He was the man there. He loves the winning with LeBron, but there's a part of him that wants to be the man. And that's, you know, so that can be frustrating. And on the other side, LeBron can get frustrated with his teammates, who he feels like, you know, the core of that team, other than him, really hasn't, you know, played winning basketball at any significant level. And so that can frustrate LeBron. So there are a lot of different storylines going on there, no doubt.
Aren't they in a situation, too, though, where, like, everyone's looking at Golden State and as if, like, it's over with. Cleveland's thinking, look, we were missing Kyrie and Love last year. You know, yeah, we might be sleepwalking through here, but aren't they kind of like playing possum? It's so weird that they're taking it like, you know, that, hey, people want to overlook us. Fine, I get the whole aspect that everybody wants to be the man, but you would think they would almost relish in that nobody's paying attention to them.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing possum. I just think, like I said, they haven't been able to, you know, get that excitement that it takes to play at your best in the regular season. You're right. They obviously played the Warriors tough last year. I do believe they're confident and they think they can get it done when push comes to shove if they meet the Warriors this year. But the thing is, the Warriors are so much better than they were last year. I mean, they're way better. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry is way better. The team is way better. Draymond's way better. Clay is better. Like, they're just a much better team. And, you know, last year they hadn't done it either. And they had to prove to themselves that they could get it done. Now they know they can get it done. And so I think they're going to be a much tougher matchup for Cleveland. But you are right. You're bringing in a lot of firepower with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. And last year, all LeBron James needed was some more offensive weapons. If he had that, I think they may have won that series. I certainly wouldn't pick them to be favored going against the Warriors right now. But, you know, it's a lot of basketball left to be played, particularly in the playoffs. So let's see what they look like in the postseason.
Chris Broussard's with us. Chris, who do you have more confidence winning in the other building? San Antonio and Golden State, or Golden State and San Antonio? They haven't won in there, 17 tries?
Yeah, I would say Golden State and San Antonio.
San Antonio, you just said Golden
33 straight.
You just said Golden State's way better too. Isn't San Antonio way better?
They are better, but I just think Golden State's a better team. Look, they could have won that game the other night, and remember they were without two of their best defenders, in Andrew Bogut and Andre Iguodala. They still almost stole that game, getting a poor performance from Steph Curry. So I think both teams obviously are very strong on their own court. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying Golden State can just walk in there and get a win. But if you ask me who I have more confidence in terms of winning on the road in that series, I would go with Golden State. Just because, I think they are the better team, and I don't think they're going to shoot as poorly as they did, even though Spurs' defense was a big part of that. Golden State's defense was awesome too, and locking up the Spurs. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. I don't think that's going to happen more nights than not for the Warriors.
Couple interesting stories, by the way, in the East. Toronto's won 8-10. Miami's won 7-10. The Hawks are coming on. So maybe that and Charlotte's been playing a lot better. Maybe that East is going to be a little more interesting than we thought going in, because it looked like it was Cleveland and maybe Toronto if they got, gave them a series. But it could be a little bit more interesting there down the stretch in the East. Anybody in the East have a shot other than Cleveland?
I still, at this point, would be absolutely floored if Cleveland didn't win the East. And I think most people in the league feel that way, at least the people I've talked to. Now, you're looking at how Cleveland's not playing that great. You're looking at some of the poor body language and things and all the drama and stuff like that. Then you're looking at how well Toronto is playing. And a lot of people are starting to think, maybe Toronto can push them. Miami, is LeBron really going to be at his A-plus game against D-Wade? Miami's played very well. So I think the feeling is not quite as decisive as it was a month or two ago, but it's still very decisive in people's opinions in the league that Cleveland's going to win the East. But they are thinking maybe a Miami, maybe a Toronto, is gaining a little ground. It could make it interesting, but still, people would be absolutely shell-shocked if LeBron James and the Cavs don't win the East.
All right, I'll leave you with this, Chris. The Sixers obviously lost season again, 9-62. But do people finally feel that the light has hit the end of the tunnel? Are the steps in the right direction there?
Well, what people feel is that this is a team that has the pieces in place to get good quickly. And those pieces, if you get one of these top 3 draft picks, Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram, or Chris Dunn, and I don't know that Dunn will go 3, but a lot of people think he's the 3rd best player in the draft. So, and obviously the Sixers need a point guard. That's one piece. So get a top 3 pick with one of those draft picks you have. Number 2, Joel Embiid. Can he be healthy and play? Okay, that could help you a lot. Number 3, Jerry Colangelo. Now that he is in the organization and pretty much running the show, they are now a free agent. I wouldn't say destination in that, everybody wants to go to Philly, but they are a place that now free agents will consider seriously. Before Colangelo gets there, they would have had to overpay tremendously to get any free agents of note. Okay, now that's not the case. Colangelo has restored their reputation, and they may be able to get a good free agent or 2 to come there to Philly. So I think if the balls bounce the right way for them, and if some of their guys can be healthy, they could get much better in a hurry. I'm not saying, I'm not predicting they're going to be a contender anytime soon, but they can start to get better and then, maybe be on the road toward that if they can get some top draft picks.
Of course, we'll keep our eye on them and the rest of the NBA. Chris Broussard at ESPN, Chris_Broussard on Twitter. Thanks, pal.
All right, my man.